Yo, 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 what is up, my peoples? It's Sunday, baby. Hope everybody's weekend's going well. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is for you. I hope your day has been good to this point, and we're going to have a great day moving forward, man. We'll do video gaming news as we always do for this morning. January 21st, and then we will dive into day 3 of Pal World. I have a confession to make. I played a little bit more last night off stream. It was nothing substantial time-wise. We got a few new pals I'll show off today. I couldn't help myself. I was watching some sports last night, and the evening had kind of calmed down as far as things we had going on, and I couldn't help but jump back in. I got some things made up for Pinky and I, and yeah, that's about it, you know. But I couldn't help myself, man. I'm loving this game. It's a lot of fun. So we'll dive in here. We'll have another day of it at least, and we'll have a lot more fun. So let's do what we do, man. Let's get in here. Let's check out video gaming news for this morning, and then go have some more Pal World fun. Let's go. Let's do it. Why is my music stopped? There we go. Love that Java. Prince of Persia launches and is the first game actually voiced in Farsi. That's cool. Nice. That's pretty neat. Why do you have 2 accounts? That's the question. What up, Soup? Happy Sunday, buddy. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League steps on another avoidable rake. We won't be able to read all this, I don't think, but yeah. Look, man, we keep hearing not great stuff come out of Suicide Squad, and I'm not surprised. So you basically got good enough to rank as high as you could, and instead of grinding away in that rank, you started from the bottom again and just smashed people. You smurfed. You smurfed. You smurfed on people, dude. Let's call it what it is, Soup. You smurfed on people, dude. Come on, man. Come on. What's the actual point of ranking 2 accounts to the highest tier other than just crushing noobs, dude? Don't expose me like that. Well, then tell me why there's a reason to do it for any other reason. Give me any other reason why. Because you don't get better at playing the game by just crushing people that aren't good at the game. That's not a way to get good. I'm interested. Consider me interested. If there is a reason behind just the feeling you get, to crush them on the high tier level. Yeah, but what's the point in starting a new account and leveling it up, though? Is there just something about the leveling process that is, you know, intoxicating or something? you know, that is appealing, that you don't get anymore after you get to a certain point because it's so hard to level? Is that what it is? Is it something like that? Just to destroy, but you just smurfing out, dude. You just want to smurf out. Oh, yeah, that's funny, dude. Bro, those poor people, dude. Those poor people. God dang it. Bunch of little kids trying to learn how to play League, and then here comes Soup, dude. Here comes Soup with countless hours on his main account, just crushing like a little smurf, like Grandpa Smurf running through here. More like Gargamel, you know? Just crushing the souls of these little wanna be good League players trying to learn how to play the game, and Soup's just crushing them on the alt account, you know? This is flipping funny, dude. I used to see it in Rocket League sometimes too. You know, you see it in Rocket League. People get called out for smurfing. Dude, you'd be in like mid-tier, you know, ranking groups, and you'll have somebody doing like triple flip reset bullcrap, and it's like, God dang, someone. Wait, what are you doing down here? You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. We all know who you are. You know? Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Go play with people that are on your level. Go play with people that are on your level. We don't need you down here, man, ruining our game, our matches. We don't need you here. So stupid. Yeah, Jesus, dude. $80+ Switch games are discounted this weekend. We'll take a look at that. That's funny, Soup. I never really got pissed off about it. I just always kind of laughed about it and was like, you know, this is the gaming world we live in, you know. It's whatever. You got to deal, you know, you just got to understand what it is. People get pissed off about it, it's like, you know, there's no point in getting pissed because it's always going to happen, you know. You just got to deal with it. You just got to roll with it, dude. It's kind of like life. Sometimes you just got to roll with the punches, dude, you know. If you let life beat you down like that, if you get that pissed over something like that, dude, you got more issues, I think, you know. Yeah, kids came back from school just to get destroyed by another account. Yeah, super smurfing, dog. Yeah, no doubt. That's funny, man. Oh God. But I mean, at the same time, I understand to an extent. People are trying to advance their skill levels and stuff, and it's hard for them to do that whenever they're just getting crushed, just getting obliterated, you know. But it's not like it's happening every match or anything either. Oh God, or it is. Oh, that feels bad, dude. That does feel bad. I feel sorry for him now. That sucks. Just getting crushed match after match, getting pissed off. The Soup's just laughing. Evil laugh, evil Skeletor laugh. We've talked so much about that. We've seen Graven. Yeah, dude. Flipping head poking through a door. You got the flipping. That's what you should have as your like avatar. You should have like a picture set up of The Shining, Jack Nicholson with his face like through the door, looking all crazy. Yeah, there you go, dude. There you go. I don't know that I've ever smurfed on anything. I've never invested enough time in a competitive game to just get on an insane level, you know? Like I like competitive games and stuff, but I've never made like an alt account to just like I've never done that. I've never made alt accounts to go back and re-level up. I mean, I've gotten to some decent levels in some competitive games. Never to like an insanely high competitive level, but I've gotten high enough to where like I could start an alt account and just probably go wreck some real low level guys and stuff, you know, but it's just not appealing to me. Just doesn't appeal to me at all, man. It really doesn't. I truly feel that like if I wanted to invest time playing a game, the only way to get better is by playing people on my level, you know? So going and playing a bunch of noobs that I'm just gonna crush doesn't really do anything for me. That doesn't appeal to me. I know a lot of other people dig it though. Yeah, we actually had the same comparison in our community. I can't remember who said it off the top of my head, man. Could have been maybe Axelfire or Grim. But somebody was saying, you know, is this just gonna be an wannabe Uncharted game or something, you know? And I don't know. I mean, I think time will tell. I don't think it will be. Look, I mean, if that's the way people are gonna do things, I mean, there's always the chance. I mean, that's why people were like concerned about like Avatar coming out and being like, oh, is it just gonna be like Far Cry with an Avatar skin? Or there's always gonna be the potential for a game to feel too similar to something else. But I'm hopeful with what I saw at Indiana Jones that it'll be different enough. It's definitely going to have that same vibe to an extent because it's the same kind of, you know, overall ambiance around it of, you know, this whole treasure hunting, thrill seeking kind of adventure, you know. But I don't think it overall will be like an Uncharted experience, and I hope not. Details on Mountaintop's new competitive shooter, Spectre. Huge improvement and new Starfield update. What are they? I mean, it's not going to make the world any less bleak, I'll tell you that. We'll talk about it. Bro, you kill me, dude. OA wins Smurf. I'll start smurfing, dude, when I start playing GTA 6, alright? So probably sometime around 20 never. He said no because you thought I was going to talk about it being delayed, huh? You thought I was going to talk about it being delayed, but it won't come out until 2030, so don't worry about it. Soup. GTA 10 would never happen. You know, I think the time frame that you're talking about with something like that, 2030, oh my. The time frame for something like GTA 10, I think by the time we're at that point, man, you're probably talking about just like booting yourself into like gaming environments and stuff, you know. I don't know, more of like a cyberpunk type of world that we're going to be encroaching on. I don't really know, but the evolution of what gaming and just technology as a whole will be at that point will be kind of incredible to see, and kind of scary at the same time. It'll be very Matrix-esque, I think. Yo, did Prince of Persia launched, right? It launched, correct? I'm pretty sure. Yep. We're going to pull up Metacritic on this. Let's do this. Let's pull up Metacritic. Don't forget to get your free game, which is love. And then starting on the 25th of January, you can get Infinifactory. Okay. Hinky, you peepo sick, bro. I thought you had your antivirus on, bro. You know you can't be hanging out and playing games with me on stream without the antivirus. We got too many sickos hanging out in this community, dude. Yo, on the reals, dog, I'm really sorry that you feel like crap. That sucks, dude. But that's okay, dude. That's okay. Trial version ran out. Dude, I'm sorry. Yo, did you see what I got done, though? Did you see what I did? I made you a nice chill spot to try and get well by drinking lots of mead, you know? yeah. I mean, we can change it or whatever. I got kind of, I just hopped in there for a little bit last night while I was watching some sports stuff after, you know, the pals were drowning in the water under it. Were they really? No, dude, I logged in last night and there were a bunch of them jacked up even before I had done that. But were they? They were drowning under it? Oh, that sucks, dude. Sorry. My bad. But I feel like every time we log in after we haven't been in there, they're messed up, dude. It's crazy. So we got to figure out how to get... Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, man. My bad then. Were they all dead, dude? Were they all... Well played. Well played, man. I didn't notice any of them having any issues while I built it last night. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Thanks. Good. Whenever I logged in last night, there were a couple of them that were jacked up, dude. Like, just off the bat, were just messed up, man. And I was like, what the heck is going on? That's one of the things I think they really got to figure out. You don't want to be losing your good pals that are doing stuff at your base, you know? And last night I logged in, there were a couple of them that were really, really jacked up. They get bugged out sometimes, you know? It's just really weird. But thanks for fixing all that. I didn't even realize it, dude. I didn't even realize it. That was like the last thing I did last night too. That was the last thing I did. I went and caught a couple of pals, got a couple of levels up, got the my little hatchery under the stairs built up, you know. Went and got us a whole bunch of metal. Made a whole bunch of ingots, dude, and then I built that on the back end, and I was like, all right, I'm done, dude. I got to get out of here. It's too addictive, man. It's too addictive. I'm sorry you feel like crap, buddy. That sucks, dude. But yeah, that's fine, dude. No worries, man. I hope you start feeling better. Wow, dude. Oh, yo, dude, I've got an absolute banger place to go grab a bunch of metal, by the way. Crafted 200 more, and we have none again? Yeah, I figured it would go quick. We're getting to where we have to use a lot of metal. What doesn't suck? Today's sponsor? Yeah, today's sponsor. Yeah, they definitely don't suck. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. Behind the church. Over in that red area. that red area, right? There's a flipping bang load of it, dude. That's where I just keep going back and forth. Yeah, cool, man, cool. That's where I was going last night, too. I remember whenever I initially found that spot, I was like, good God, dude. I was like mental noted that place. I was like, I got to come back here, dude, when we need metal. And that's what I was just going back and forth, dude, last night. I made like four trips, I think, and just got a bunch. Yo, what's up, Reagan? How you doing, friendo? Yeah. We smart, bro. We way too smart sometimes, dog. Yeah. Yo, look at this. Prince of Persia doing well, man. We'll bring this up and talk about this. You got everything there? Yeah. Dude, I was trying not to spend too much time in game, you know, but I needed I needed the new crossbow I unlocked. I needed the new metal spear I unlocked. I know you're still like a lot of levels ahead of me and stuff, but I had unlocked a couple more levels because I went and caught Totoro last night, and I caught the King Penguin and stuff, and so I got a couple of levels up, and I was like, man, I need some of this metal stuff, but we didn't have enough metal, so I was like, I'll just go make some trips, man, and get enough to make the stuff I need, and get plenty more for giving us a jump start tomorrow, you know. Yeah. Thanks for fixing the bar. Did the bar look okay, dude? I mean, we can change it or whatever. I was just like, dude, I was like, I'll make a little nice surprise for Pinky for tomorrow, you know? How World developer addresses Xbox issues and update incoming. It looks cool, nice, dude. I'm glad you like. Did you see how I put all those plants on that top bar of the horizontal like beam of the bar? Those are like separate plants I put up there individually, dude. It took a bit. I don't know why I did it. I shouldn't have done it, dude. There's a bunch of plants all the way along the top. They had to be put up there. They had to be put up there individually. I was on one last night, bro. I was on one, dude. Yeah, doing good, Reagan. Just got done watching the original Lost Boys. Oh, yeah. I figured you'd probably watch it because I saw all those clips that you were putting in the, like the little GIFs and stuff you were putting in the Discord. Yo, by the way, check this out. You know, we were playing, we were recently playing Baldur's Gate 3, right? And I was talking about, like, right towards the end of the game, my character went full illithid. And I started referencing Tropic Thunder, and this scene from Tropic Thunder where he's talking about you never go full illithid. That's what I was turning it into. Look, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, this movie's hilarious, and I actually came across this clip just randomly this morning on YouTube, and I grabbed it and I threw it in the Discord. So it's actually just a clip from the movie. It doesn't have anything to do with BG3, but I was referencing it, you know? And if you guys want to know what I was talking about when we were playing BG3 and the whole you don't go full illithid thing, this is the clip. It's in Discord, okay? All right, let's keep going here. Wait, what's going on? Might watch the sequels. I never watched any of the sequels, just the original, yeah. Why is Apple going to USB-C? Because finally, yeah. Yeah. It's actually absurd that they had taken so long to not adopt a universal standard for things like charging and data transfer. And, you know, it's like, Jesus Christ. Apple's disgusting, dude. Because of stuff like that. And not only did they adopt USB-C, but then what they did was made it to where only their Apple Pro Plus or whatever their, what is it, 14 or 15, whatever the new one is, got the Plus or the Elite one or whatever is the only one that got the fast charging. How gross is that? Apple's disgusting, dude. They're so disgusting, man. Final Fantasy 16 reportedly coming to Xbox Series X and S. The Elite one, whatever it's called, dude. I don't know. I'm not a fan of their product, so I don't really keep up with it. their products are not worth keeping up with as far as I'm concerned. Best battle royale video game ever made. Let's see what this is. Dude, Pal World has sold as fast as Marvel's Spider-Man 2 in its first 2 days. You got the original one on DVD and the poster. Oh, that's sick, Reagan. Nice, yeah. Well, maybe you should. It's supposed to be a good game, if I remember correctly. Yo, that's pretty wild, dude. Let's look at all this Pal World stuff we have together. Bump, bump, bump. Oh no. Uh-oh. Pal World embroiled in AI and Pokemon plagiarism. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Last of Us Part 2 or remastered. Last of Us 2 remastered can get wrecked. Naughty Dog can get wrecked for that. That's a terrible move. They're disgusting. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. PlayStation has a sell as well. Let's put this with the Nintendo sell. We'll cover these together. Twitch Online is giving away a round of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom freebies. Interesting. Why is Final Fantasy 16 on Xbox? Because Square Enix is not a first-party PlayStation developer. That's why. The way a lot of these contracts are happening, Final Fantasy 16 released as a proprietary PlayStation game, right? Yo, Davey, what up, brother? How's it going, man? So a lot of the way that, you know, Square Enix has been one of the more notorious large studios to do proprietary titles, first-party titles. Yeah, for the console wars, if you will. And, what you'll see, I mean, we've seen that forever, really. Now, what you're seeing happen more and more often is that with these titles that they're doing, you know, if they're proprietary, because dude, they've done proprietary titles with basically all console makers, right? And what the more common thing to see nowadays is if there's a title that comes out from Square and it's an exclusive title for a specific console or platform, then it's only exclusive for about 6 months. About 6 months. Sometimes a year. But after that exclusivity period is up, they're going to try to get that title onto as many other platforms as possible because it's more lucrative that way, right? And it benefits us as game players too. It just does. Getting good games into as many hands as possible is good for us. You know? It just is. How have I been? I'm great, brother. Yeah, thanks for asking. I'm good, dude. Yeah. Yep. A little bit tired. I went to bed too late last night. I'm flipping just sucked into this Pal World game, which we've got a lot of news to cover this morning about it. Pal World is skyrocketing, prompting emergency meetings with Epic. Here's another one, dude. How are you doing, Davey? Are you feeling better, dude? We got a lot of flipping news for a Sunday. Good night, dude. What is this? We already knew that. Frostpunk 2 is what they're talking about. We've covered that already. Do they already have the date? Is this a March release? What's the Step it up. Step it up. Yeah, it doesn't have a specific release date yet. Okay. I knew it wasn't like super soon or anything, but first half of this year, Frostpunk 2 is supposed to be coming out, and it is supposed to be a Game Pass day one release. So that's what you need to know. We've already kind of covered that, and so I'm not going to deep dive into that. Oh, you hurt yourself? Dude, I'm sorry. Yeah, injuries suck, dude. Stir the pot. I know you do, Soup. I know you do, you smurf. Smurfer. I know you do. You love stirring the pot. That's why that's why I kind of come at you with a little bit of violence too, because I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. But sometimes it's appropriate to like address that, you know, in case other people don't understand exactly what the situation is as well, right? Oh, you've been playing Tiny Tina's? Nice. Borderlands is a great series. I think there are other people that aren't a big fan. Like our buddy Tinwin around here, he doesn't really like the Borderlands stuff, and I respect that. You know, not everything suits everybody's preferences and likes and everything, right? Not buying any more games this year, bro. It's early, dog. We're not even through January yet. That is that like your resolution for 2024, man? I'm innocent. That is shenanigans right there. That's blasphemous, dude. You're a trip, dude. Behavior Interactive and CI Games joins growing list of studios hit by layoffs. God, dude. Dude, Palworld has sold more than 3 million copies in 40 hours after launch. Jesus. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, you're not outright buying games personally, but you're actually, you know, you're still investing, if you will, in titles to play through subscription service. Wish you could play Palworld. There's talk of it coming to PlayStation at some point. It's just not in the works right now. You know, they're more worried about getting it stable on all the other platforms for early access and everything, you know. But, what was I getting ready to bring up? So that brings up a good point, though. What we're talking about with the subscription stuff. If you guys didn't see me put this in the Discord, I talked about this the other day as well. Have you guys seen this? This is taken out of context a bit here for Ubisoft, but you know, this is taken out of context. So, but it was funny enough that I was like, okay, I got to throw this in the Discord, man. You know, Ubisoft is becoming a big player in the streaming side of the you know, service part of the gaming industry and everything, right? So the reason being in large part, you know, they've had their Ubisoft Plus stuff for a long time, but it was always more expensive than Game Pass with only about a quarter of as many titles, and they don't obviously, you know, rotate in and out titles the same way Game Pass does. It just never was as nice of a subscription service unless you were just an absolute Ubisoft enthusiast, right? But what's happening is, if you guys remember, with the acquisition of Activision Blizzard by Microsoft, the reason, you know, Ubisoft has become a big player in the streaming side of the services for gaming industry, Ubisoft Microsoft had to find some way to appease the UK's regulatory committee, right? The CMA, I think, is what they were called, Markets Authority and stuff, because they were blocking the acquisition, and it was a large part had to do with like streaming and cloud services and stuff that they felt were going to be wholly anti-competitive with Microsoft outright owning Activision Blizzard. So the solution that was found by Microsoft was to basically sell off their streaming rights for their games that come out over the next 15 years to Ubisoft, right? And so it's a weird situation, but the streaming rights for everything coming out of this whole Activision Blizzard acquisition are actually going to Ubisoft. So Ubisoft had to pay out a initial upfront lump sum to Microsoft, but then if Microsoft actually wants to put streaming their own games moving forward on their streaming service, they have to pay Ubisoft to license them out. It's a real weird situation. But with this means that Ubisoft's portfolio of games that they're going to have for their subscription services and things like that they're going to, basically blow up. It's going to get massive, right? And so funny enough, one of the Ubisoft executives was quoted as saying, "We want gamers to be more comfortable not owning video games," and it was in relation to them talking about wanting gamers to feel more comfortable with buying into subscription service, right? Well, whenever that came out, like earlier this week, it was taken out of context, and everybody was just like, "Oh, well, Ubisoft wants us to be comfortable with not owning games anymore," And then this meme came about that was like, "If purchase isn't ownership, then piracy isn't theft." I was rolling, dude. It's absolutely taken out of context here for what was being spoken about from Ubi and everything, but it's still very, very funny. And it was all over the place, dude, in the gaming communities and stuff. So, just so you know, that was kind of the situation with that. What are you saying, Soup? What's a degree to you? DLC to earn more money? Yeah. Basically, yeah. We got a lot of flipping articles. So this will be the last page I look at right here to pull up some more articles for us. You wish Pal World was free? Yeah. Here's my hope. My hope is that they're doing so well with this game. And look, this is the thing, okay? So you look at Pal World. This is actually something good for us to research. Pocket Pair. Pocket Pair is the developer. Pocket Pair is the publisher. I know nothing about this company, honestly. I don't know much about them. They've done Craftopia as well, which was released in 2020, but I don't know a whole lot about it. It's just positive. There's nothing else besides there's Craftopia. This was the soundtrack, my bad. Mostly positive. So is Craftopia an indie developer? Let's find that out. It might be on PS Plus. Here's the thing. This is the thing about the game. Yeah, Pinky, no worries, buddy. Yeah, we got a lot of news to cover, dude. So yeah, rest up, man. I'm tripping. I lost my train of thought. Pocket Pair. Yeah, there we go. Let's look at Pocket Pair real quick. Founded in 2015. I'm wanting to know if they're independent or not. It seems like they are. I'm not seeing anything that leads me to believe they are not an independent company. And I'll elaborate on why I'm like looking this up, you know. It is looking that way. Hold on. Independent company. Independent company. So, here's the thing. I am with the core of what this game feels like, and I'll elaborate on this as we continue to move forward with. We got a lot of articles to cover about the game and everything. The game feels good. The core of what's here for this game as an early access game feels very, very good. They have some issues. Their servers need to be improved. The server lag and latency is pretty not good for a game like this, and that needs to be improved. But the core of what the gameplay elements are being brought together as a survival, resource gathering, beast capturing game, you know, all these different elements being brought together, it's really impressive. You know, it feels really good. It's got a lot of potential. And I'm glad to see the game doing well, because hopefully what this means is that as an independent company that has to rely on money, revenue that they generate themselves, no really outside sources of income, no parent company, you know, for overhead to be shoveling money their way or anything like that. You know, the potential they have for this game to be evolved and fleshed out to an even greater extent, there's a lot of potential there, but they're going to need, you know, resources to do that. And I think that the fact that it's doing so well right now as a you know, early access release game means that this is going to give them a lot of the resources monetarily anyways that they need to invest in trying to continue to work on giving this game a lot of the other things that it needs, whether it be development incorporations for the roadmap that they have for the way they're trying to take the game moving forward, for better server quality, for I mean, you name it. There's all kinds of stuff, man, that can be improved for what this game's going to bring to the table for everybody that wants to play it. And so, you know, when you talk about, you know, it'd be nice for every game to be free to play, right? But it's just not a reality for us. You know what I mean? And it's nice to see a company like this that's independent doing a great job with something this so early. It's not even a full release, right? It feels really good. And I know that, you know, a lot of people have hurdles to overcome with purchasing, you know, gaming stuff and everything like that. And that's why I try to find people deals all the time and things of that nature. But to see a company like this be independent and doing something that feels really good, and to be getting revenue back to hopefully be investing in progressing a title like this, which is a live service type of game that has a lot of potential. I'm hopeful this will be a good thing moving forward for this title, you know. We talked about that. Yep. Talked about that too. We talked about that yesterday and this. If anybody's not aware, I've started doing this also. Every day I'm going in. We do have a video gaming news channel in the Discord, and I'm going in and putting all the links in for everything we cover for every day's news segments. I'm heading them up. I'm putting a header in for like 20 January 2024 video gaming news, and then all the links that we cover. If you go up, there'll be 19 January 2024 video gaming news, all the links that we cover, you know. So if anybody misses out, they'll be able to go back and see everything that we covered in the news. This is something I recently started doing, as well as whenever I get like some of the YouTube videos created that are specifically honing in on some of these important topics we're covering in the new segments, like the Star Citizen bundles that we covered, the, you know, Apex Legends getting called out for the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth cosmetic skin costs, these kinds of things. I will throw these in here as well. And after I get my entire news segment for like 16 January, whenever that's published and live on YouTube, which will be very shortly, I'll go back and throw that entire news segment in here too. So it's just an easier way for people to come back and take a look at everything they might have missed, and an easier way to access news content. Okay, but just know that that's something that's happening here in the Discord for everybody. Yeah, okay, let's stick with what we got here. Let's begin with Prince of Persia, man. Let's start with this. If you guys have not seen the ratings so far for Prince of Persia, we already knew there were a lot of pretty good critic reviews. It was up around this score already, you know, right before release, but user reviews have this up at a 9.3. My only reservation, really, my reservations, obviously, with this game is it's an Ubi game. I currently have reservations about Ubi as a developer and publisher. I have had for roughly half a decade at least at this point, where I'm skeptical with about anything they develop. And so I'm always a bit hesitant with anything they release, even if it seems fairly interesting to me. And this game looks good to me. It's one of my bread and butter genres. You know, it is a Metroidvania 2.5D platformer game. I love those games. They are one of my favorite types of games to play. And even with the early reviews I was seeing, saying it was very good, I'm still going to be hesitant on a developer that I'm not real comfortable with. And so I wanted to wait and see what people were saying about the game too. Now, what we did find out is the time for this game is, in my opinion, a little bit bleak for a Metroidvania as well. So they're saying what, you'll finish this game in anywhere between 15 to 20 hours. And for me, a real nice Metroidvania, I'm wanting about 30 hours of main story, and then, you know, if I want 100% or get close to 100%, probably more like 45 to 50 hours. You know, what was Hollow Knight for me? I did a pretty lengthy you know, you guys know how I play games. I do a good amount of looking around, try to find as much as I can. You know, I'm a very completionist playthrough type of gamer, right? And let's see, something like Hollow Knight, how many hours did I spend in there? 53 hours, you know, 53 hours. So, I don't know. This is something we talk about a lot, is the price of something like Prince of Persia, $50 price tag, worth 15 hours of gameplay? I mean, it's better than $70 coming from a AAA studio, but is that still worth? I don't know, man. I think everybody has to come to some decision on and some of that's going to come along with, you know, the quality of the gameplay and, you know, stuff like that. But this game, respectively, I think is looking very good. Let's look at something that reviewed it right in between the user and Metascore real quick. With nods to the game's platforming and combat route, it offers joyful variations on recent Metroidvanias, all while looking to a healthy, innovative future that recognizes the game's royal credentials in just about every category. Huh. So you can see on Xbox, PS5, PC, and Switch, all the scores are relatively similar, which means that they've done a pretty good job, it seems, on optimizing the game for all the different platforms. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown makes it difficult to put down the control of the fluid action, the beautiful animations and designs, the creative levels, and ways you can use the map. I could go on and on. Platforming and action are masterfully balanced, and braving the game world and its secrets is as challenging as it is rewarding. There are some bugs here and there during boss fights, the occasional lack of button responsiveness, but that doesn't really make the game any less fun. This is the Prince of Persia game we deserve in 2024. Cool, man. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it's a pretty solid title. Now, let me look at this real quick. Yeah. I mean, you can see what most people are getting out of the game is main story 15.5 hours, main plus sides 18.5 hours, completionist is going for 24, and I mean, at least they didn't try to market this at 60 to 70 bucks, you know, for the base game. I think 50 as a completionist time is probably acceptable, but as just a main story, still 15.5 hours of gameplay for a $50 price point, that doesn't seem very good to me. I think some of it's going to come down to, again, how enjoyable is the gameplay and stuff, but it still seems a bit lacking there. Yeah. A bit bleak, if you will. So, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, god dang, dude, more layoffs. Okay. Behavior Interactive and CI Games joins growing list of studios hit by layoffs. Oh, god. Yeah, Behavior is Dead by Daylight, right? So 2 more video game companies have been added to the rapidly growing list of companies that suffered layoffs over the past 2 years. Dead by Daylight developer Behavior Interactive confirmed that it recently laid off 40 of its employees, while Lord of the Fallen's publisher CI Games announced a 10% reduction in its workforce. The job cuts come in spite of the apparent success of both studios. Dead by Daylight in particular has been enjoying a multi-year run in the spotlight with high-profile transmedia crossovers, including Child's Play, Chucky, and Alan Wake collaborations. Recently, changing market conditions necessitated adjusting the scope of several Behavior projects. Behavior Interactive told PC Gamer, in these situations, our preference is always to reassign talent to other projects. Unfortunately, this option is not always available to us. These departures represented less than 3% of our total workforce. Okay. No! You're a troll. I wonder how many people that means. The layoffs at CI Games, on the other hand, have been mostly limited to the studio's marketing team. GamesIndustry.biz, however, reports that its Underdog and Hexworks subsidiaries were also affected. Quote, to preserve business strength and stability, CI Games has made the tough but necessary decision to implement a targeted round of redundancies, affecting approximately 10% of employees across the company, announced CI Games CEO Marek Tyminski. The continued downsizing and layoffs sweeping across the video game and tech industries is largely attributed to aggressive ramping during the COVID-19 pandemic as demand for quarantine entertainment drastically increased. Now that everyone is free to move around again, that demand has subsequently dropped, prompting industry-wide budget cuts and restructuring. Look, here's the deal. This is not, in my opinion, the core issue in this situation. Was there some bloat hire because of the pandemic? Absolutely. There's no denying that. But there are a lot of these companies that are slaughtering their subsidiaries and just, you know, destroying their employee base underneath them. And it's a lot of it has to do with bad business investments, bad business decisions, and they are not making the people that made those decisions pay the price. They are making their low to mid-level employees pay the price. That's just a fact. You know, but we don't get transparency and we don't get clarity from these companies on why this is the case. You know, they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to be open with us. It's terrible. And then on the other side of the, you know, we've got companies like Sony forcing one of their best first-party studios and Insomniac to fire employees, and then come out a couple of days later and talk about how this is another record-breaking year for PlayStation. You tell me, dude. What's happening? What's happening? You know, that doesn't make any sense. That does not compute, man. That doesn't calculate. It doesn't. Why? How? You know. So this is not just a bloat hire situation. That's not all there is to this. Is it a contributing factor to some of the layoffs happening in the gaming industry over the past year to year and a half? Yeah, I think so, but not a majority of it. Nintendo Switch Online gives away a new round of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom freebies. Where are our Zelda fans at? Nintendo routinely adds new Switch Online rewards for its subscribers to claim either for free or with their Platinum points, but the latter is technically free anyway, since Platinum points cost you nothing and are so easy to come by. Those Nintendo Switch Online freebies are often tied to new games to celebrate their releases, but sometimes, Nintendo falls back on its best series for giveaways. That's exactly what they're doing right now, and will continue to do for the next few weeks, with some free Nintendo Switch Online icons featuring characters from Tears of the Kingdom available in waves for a few weeks. These new Switch Online icons are available in waves in the Switch Online's missions and rewards section. Sections consisting of 8 different icons available from now until February 15th. So about 3 weeks. First 2 icons in those waves released this week, but they'll only be available for a while before they're replaced with a new wave. Nintendo showed off the icons this week that subscribers can claim from now until the 15th. Head to the missions and rewards section after hopping into the Switch Online menu of your Switch, and you'll see the icons for Link and King Raru available now alongside some other Zelda icons that have been around for a while now. All of them cost just 10 Platinum points each, so they cost players essentially nothing to claim, okay? But these are the ones that you'll be able to claim from the 18th through the 25th. So the ones you can currently grab are these. The next will be available from the 25th through the 1st, which are these. Then from the, here, let's get this up just a bit more there. Yeah, there you go. From the 1st of February through the 8th will be these icons. And then from the 8th through the 15th will be these. Oh, Ganondorf. Let's go, dude. So I'll link this. You guys take a look. Go grab all your, Zelda icons so you can be flexing on your Switch profile. You know what I'm saying? Dude, all this Pal World stuff, there's a lot to cover here for Pal World. We've been playing it the past 2 days. It's been an absolute blast. It's got its issues. It's early access, and overall, the core of what they have here is very good. The first day we played on a world that I created myself. It was just a 4-player world. I was hosting it. And, our moderator and, friendo Pinky came in and played, and it felt pretty good, There's some buggy issues with some of the pals not, they get stuck in on your base. You have to, kind of take them out of your base, put them in your box, take them back out so that they kind of reset and get back into the groove of things and don't die and stuff. There's really a lot of potential here for this game. The core of what it is, with the survival, base building, factory building, progression with, your player, and progression with, getting more powerful pals, if you will, and really grinding for the best pals, to do specific tasks, whether it be to fight in your party or to, take care of your homestead, you know, your farm, or to take care of a factory, or, you know, there's a lot of different reasons why this is working very well. It plays very well. It feels good. A lot of the mechanics are nice, but the servers are an issue. There's a lot of server issues that need to be addressed. We started playing yesterday. On a public server hosted by the company themselves, and it's a 32-person server that just, the latency is terrible. And for a game like this, feels really bad because you need to be able to dodge attacks. You need to be able to hit the pals with your capturing devices and stuff at the appropriate time, because the less life they have, the more easy, you know, the easier it is to catch them. But, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. This is the same thing I talk about quite often with like games that have performance issues on release. If you can't play the game smoothly, it hurts your ability to enjoy what the game has to offer content wise, and the server issues being experienced here are something that are affecting it. Now I'll say this, the core of what the game has is so good that I am absolutely just immersed in this, even with the server issues I'm experiencing. But the servers do need to be fixed. They're talking about, you know, getting server issues fixed. They're talking about getting, you know, cross-play, cross-progression kind of stuff implemented. It's early access, so people have to understand this is an early access title. And for being an early access title, I think that a lot of what they've done here feels really, really good. This is not a full release game right now, and everything that it has to offer is pretty amazing. It feels great. Heard it's kind of like a Pokemon game. So I mean, it's like Pokemon on steroids, if you will. I honestly think it's everything that I wish Pokemon would have turned into a long time ago. Pokemon has been very locked into this premise of not giving you a whole lot of things that you can do with your Pokemon, if you will. So it's getting a Pokemon comparison because the pals, as they're called in the game, do look very Pokemon-esque, and we're going to cover that in a moment. We've got about 4 articles we're going to cover right here that have to do with how, you know, from everything from how well the game is doing on early access release to some of the issues with maybe how much it look, you know, the creatures look like other Pokemon. There's a lot of things we're going to cover here, and but I think that what you get here is, you know, in some people will go, well, Pokemon Arceus was more of an open world, you know, game with Pokemon and stuff, but that's all it really was. This is a game where you're actually getting the freedom of an open world environment. You are getting also a situation where you're resource gathering. It's a survival, base building, factory building. You're getting this management system of, you know, we're going to play the game again today after we finish the news, and you'll get to see it if you're hanging out, where every pal that you catch, they have different abilities that they're good at, you know, whether it be, you know, all of them can fight, but some of them are better at fighting than others, and then they all have certain abilities that they can utilize to be good at doing specific things for you as companions on your homestead or your farm, or for factory stuff, or whatever you need them to do, right? And the things that feel really good already in the game is really, you know, the way that they automatically, if you know, you have to upgrade your home or your farm or whatever, so you can keep adding more and more pals to be a part of helping you continue to build and farm and mine stuff and get lumber, and they'll help you build things. And so it's and again, each individual pal has different abilities and different tasks that they can do, and different levels of how well they'll do those tasks. And then they have these special passive abilities they can get, which can make them better at fighting, or make them better at farming, or make them better, you know, at being a mount or what have you. Again, like I said, I mean, I really feel like this is like what Pokemon should have evolved into a long time ago, making use of all these amazing beasts and creatures that you can go, you know, turn into companions, if you will, by fighting and capturing them, right? So it's a lot of fun, and again, I think that a big core of what makes this really stand out right now is they've done a great job with like the pathing that they go through. That, you know, you've got to keep them fed, you've got to keep their sanity levels up so they continue to be efficient workers. There's a lot that has gone into this already. It's a very, very fleshed out system to begin with. And like I was talking about before, when we found out that over the past 2 days of this game being released now, it's already sold, I think, over 3 million copies. And for an independent developer, you know, this is a pretty impressive feat. And I'm hoping that the amount of revenue they're generating here is going to be very helpful in them continuing to flesh out this game even more. Because while it does feel very good and already pretty deep in early access, it has a lot of potential to continue to get even deeper. And these are some of the things that I, you know, before I even played the game, before it even released, a lot of the things that I wanted to see in the game and I was talking to the community about, I've already experienced in the game. The different kinds of abilities, they've got different levels of, you know, attack, defense, stuff like that. They've got different passive abilities, different attacking abilities. You can change their attacking abilities. They've got different, you know, each of the different species of pals have different things that they're good at helping you with as a companion and stuff. Those are the things that I wanted to see, and it's there, man, and it feels good. But the potential this game has moving forward for things like evolving these you know, pals, if you will, you know, like a lot of these other beast games have done, or breeding them and evolving, you know, breeding them into hybrids and then evolving the hybrids to see what you get, you know, or things like that, you know. So the potential is vast, and it just depends on which way, you know, they want to move forward with this title as a developer. You know, I'm sure that they've got boards on boards on boards on boards on boards of you know, these like think tank situations of how they're trying to approach the evolution of this game and how to move forward with it and everything. But what they have as a base is actually phenomenal. It feels fantastic. And then for an early access game, the core of it is amazing. Again, they need some work. They need, you know, it's already on Game Pass, so it can be played on Xbox. It can be played on, you know, Game Pass PC. It can be played on Steam. But, you know, there's no cross play. There's no cross progression. You can only play on, you know, set up like private servers and stuff on Steam. You know, there's a lot of things that need to get fleshed out. And the servers don't feel real good that are being hosted by the developer themselves. You know, they're just things like that. But it is early access. And ultimately, a lot of the negatives that I'm you know, talking about can be overlooked because of how good the core of the game is right now already. So with that preface, hopefully that gives everybody an idea of what we're dealing with here. If you haven't seen the gameplay, if you haven't experienced the game yet or anything like that, you know, now we can dive into a little bit of these articles. We've got 4 articles, and we'll try to cover all of these, you know, in a timely fashion, because I'll probably just include all of this as its own segment to upload to YouTube and stuff. But the developer is addressing Xbox issues, and an update is incoming. So the developer of Pal World, right, which is, I'm blanking their name right now, right there in chat. That didn't work. One more time, please. There we go. Pocket Pair. I need to get that in my head. I think this is going to become a household name very quickly. This is an independent developer, and what they've done here is pretty unique and very good so far. So I think that you're going to keep hearing the name Pocket Pair more often throughout the gaming industry, so get ready for that. But the developer, which they should have annotated here, Pocket Pair, they are the developer and they are the publisher, has addressed many issues the Xbox version of the game is facing. In case you missed it, one of the biggest games of 2024 so far snuck up on just about everyone earlier this week. A new game, actually 2 days ago. A new game called Pal World has been exploding in popularity out of nowhere. The game was shown off at a couple of major gaming events. Outside of those initial reveals, it didn't seem to stick around in the zeitgeist. Now that it's finally here, however, it's a huge hit. Pal World is more or less a knockoff of Pokemon. I'll disagree on that statement. I think that it takes what a lot of games had made popular, and obviously Pokemon is the first, and vastly most popular monster collector IP, right? So it does take that incorporation and meshes a lot of other gaming stuff in and evolves what Pokemon has ever been into what Pokemon probably should have become a long time ago, allowing players to explore a vast open world with their friends and capture creatures known as pals. However, instead of having abilities like lightning or what have you, they have big guns. No, so this is the thing. Some of them have guns, some of them do have electricity, some of them have water abilities. It does have that the elemental side of it, dark abilities, you name it. But some of them do use weapons, things like that, which is another difference between what you see in something like a lot of these other beast capturing games and what you're playing here, right, in Pal World. Within just a couple of days of its release, Pal World has already sold 3 million copies and is likely only going to sell more as word gets around about it. Sadly, Pal World is facing some issues on Xbox. Players have noticed black screens, login errors, and reported various error messages that are holding the game back. While some people can get in, it is causing a lot of frustrations for those who can't. Pal World community manager Bucky chimed in on the game's Discord and noted that they're aware of the issues and have submitted a patch to Xbox. Unfortunately, the patch must get through the certification process, and they're not sure how long that may take. Quote, currently, we have submitted a patch for Xbox that addresses some of the issues that have been reported, said Bucky, but the patch cannot be issued until it passes the Microsoft certification process. We haven't received any word about the status of this yet, but we have been trying to get in touch so we can expedite the process. And as soon as we know more, we will share it with you immediately. We're sorry about this frustrating situation. Hopefully it won't take too long, but they do have links for the Discord if you want to jump in there. Here's the thing. This is an early access game. Again, for those of you that don't know, and it might not be super apparent to people on the Xbox platforms, this is an early access game. And there are some rough edges. I think they'll get it figured out pretty quick. For what it is right now, it feels pretty good, though. Moving on to Pal World has sold as fast as Marvel's Spider-Man 2 in its first 2 days. So, Pal World is absolutely cleaning up in sales in its first weekend on the market. If you're unfamiliar, there's a new game that was released this week called Pal World. It may have been easy to miss if you weren't already paying attention to it, but it is sweeping the industry right now. It's sort of a Pokemon knockoff, but the biggest difference is it's a big multiplayer game you can play and explore in with your friends. As well as it has a lot of different features that you can't experience in a Pokemon game. There are a bunch of creatures known as pals you can collect and capture similar to Pokemon. Instead of simply having just elemental powers, some of them have full-blown guns. You can capture humans too if you're really committed to kidnapping sentient beings. As well as base building, survival, resource gathering. There's a lot of other things that are meshed in here besides just a beast capturing kind of game, right? According to the official Twitter page of Pal World, the game has sold 3 million copies in 40 hours, less than 2 days. For the sake of comparison, Spider-Man 2, one of last year's biggest games, featuring one of the most popular characters in all of fiction, sold 2.5 million in 24 hours. That sales figure made it in PlayStation's fastest selling exclusive. Pal World has apparently sold just as fast, if not a bit faster, than Spider-Man 2 as a result. With that said, Pal World is also significantly cheaper. The game is being sold for $27 as opposed to $70 like Spider-Man 2. Naturally, that makes it a bit of an easier sell. It's also on a few more platforms. That's what I was about to note. It's on more platforms as it's on PC and Xbox, while Spider-Man 2 was a PS5 proprietary title, first-party title. Yeah. Huge achievement nonetheless. Agreed. Huge achievement. Pal World is skyrocketing, prompting emergency meetings with Epic. Okay, so let's see what this is about. Pal World might be a flash in the pan as games go, but it's a flash that's burning with the strength of a billion suns at the moment. In the 2 days since Pal World was released, it has taken the world by storm.
soaring on Steam to more than 2 million players and a peak concurrency of over 844,000, which pushes it into the top 10 all-time most played games. It has been such a staggering success in the short term that it prompted an emergency response from Epic Games and the developer of Palworld, Pocket Pair. Reportedly, an emergency meeting was held to troubleshoot an issue brought on by the swarm of players flooding Palworld, eager to experience what is one of the most successful meme games ever. Update: Epic Games has told Insider Gaming that Palworld hit a pre-configured limit on the backend and the issue has now been resolved. Pokemon with guns? Sure. Yeah, this is going to go into what we've already talked about. So currently Palworld is beating out almost every game on Steam. Sits just 200,000 players behind Counter-Strike 2, which is consistently the most popular game on the PC platform. It's smashing down the likes of Dota 2, PUBG, GTA 5, Apex Legends, and Baldur's Gate 3. What's even more surprising is that Palworld isn't a free-to-play game. These are the titles that normally dominate because of the lack of entry requirements. Players are more than open to paying top dollar for this bizarre open-world survival game simply to experience the inanity of it. Seriously, it's borderline strange at times. There are opportunities for players to capture these cute creatures, put them to work in slave labor camps, equip them with assault rifles to fight the death against all manner of opponents. It's different and it doesn't take itself seriously. That's why it's doing so well. Now, a bit of a darker look at what might be happening here. So, last but not least in regards to Palworld. Palworld embroiled in AI and Pokemon plagiarism controversy. Social media users highlight character design similarities and developers' generative AI history. Steam's newest hit survival game Palworld has been accused of plagiarizing designs from Pokemon, as social media users negatively highlight its creators' historical association with generative AI tools. Palworld by Japanese studio Pocket Pair released into early access on PC and Xbox on Friday and immediately became a breakout success, with its creator claiming 2 million sales, now over 3 million sales in just 2 days. Snoop, you're crazy. The huge launch exposure inevitably reignited discourse that has followed Palworld since its announcement around its character designs, apparent similarities to Pokemon. Although the gameplay of Palworld is closer to survival games like Ark and Rust than Game Freak's series, many social media users have noted the obvious influences its character designs have taken from the Nintendo series. Following Palworld's release on Friday, some ex-users collated perceived similarities between Palworld's pals and Pokemon. It's not even subtle about its ripoffs. How much else has it stolen? Wrote one user. Another added, I want to like Palworld, but I don't know if I can support running existing Pokemon through a fuser, passing them off as new IP. The situation is further muddled in the eyes of some by Pocket Pair's historical relationship with generative AI tools. Artist Zaytree noted on X that one of its previous titles was AI Art Imposter, a game which literally utilizes an AI image generator as its core mechanic. The user also highlighted multiple historical X posts by Pocket Pair's CEO Takuro Mizobi, in which he appeared to praise the potential of AI image generators for content creation. The use of generative AI is a significant pressure point in many creative industries, including video games, with tools such as Midjourney being criticized by some who perceive them as replacing professional artists using their work without permission for their training set. Yeah. Earlier this month, an ongoing lawsuit against Midjourney, Stability AI, and DeviantArt listed thousands of artist names that plaintiffs allege have had their artwork scraped to train them. One of Pocket Pair CEO's X posts from 2022 discussed how he believed generative AI tools could one day be sophisticated enough to avoid copyright issues. In another potentially more damning post from 2021, Misobi showed how AI can be used to generate new Pokemon designs. This does not, of course, prove that any of the designs in Palworld were made with the help of AI. However, some believe that if this was indeed the case, it could explain the similarities with the game's designs, especially since Palworld was made by a mostly inexperienced team, many of whom were amateurs before being hired. One team member, Misobi has claimed, was even previously working in a convenience store. In a blog post published this week, the CEO even claimed that Palworld's 100 character concepts were made mostly by a single graduate student. She was a new graduate and had applied to nearly 100 companies but failed them all, he wrote. And she is now drawing most of the characters in Palworld. Elsewhere in the post, Misobi discusses how Pocket Pair's previous game, Craftopia, was built mostly using off-the-shelf assets, and how when it started work on Palworld, the company had no animation staff. It's truly a miracle that Palworld was born, that it was completed, and that it turned out to be such a fun game, he wrote. VGC has asked Pocket Pair for comment on this story. Palworld is described by its creator as an action-adventure survival game in which players can battle and capture pals in order to use them for base building, traversal, and combat. The accusations of plagiarism around some of its character designs doesn't appear to have bothered players much, as at the time of publishing, Palworld has very positive reviews on Steam. In Europe, the EU is moving to regulate generative AI so that companies would need to disclose any copyrighted data used for training. And just last week, Valve changed the rules around games containing AI-generated assets on Steam so that developers would need to disclose its use clearly. So the fact that we haven't gotten any kind of news out of Palworld yet of them using AI to generate any of this is a good sign, but it doesn't mean they haven't either. So we're gonna have to pay attention here and keep our eyes and ears open to see if we can figure out whether or not they did. Because look, I mean, you know, with the AI incorporation, I think it's unavoidable, but I think that we have to try and advocate and hold companies accountable as much as possible for incorporating AI usage in ethical ways. It can be done, but these companies have to do it the right way. So we'll see what happens moving forward. Lots happening with Palworld right now, though, and the game is flippin' fun. Final Fantasy 16 reportedly coming to Xbox Series X and S. FF16 is supposedly making its way to Xbox. Exclusive games are an important piece of a console. Nowadays, the hardware is mostly similar enough that the average person isn't going to have a dramatically different experience on one console versus another. Whew, excuse me. I'm going to take a drink. Oh, yeah. Yes, there are hardware differences, but the bulk of people buying these machines don't care much about that. They care about what they play. For years, PlayStation has been the place to go if you really want cinematic single-player games. Xbox has been the place to go for long-lasting multiplayer experiences. However, it's hard to deny that people of all types wouldn't be swayed by the games like Final Fantasy, Spider-Man, or even Halo, one of the premier shooters. With that said, PlayStation has kept an iron grip on some franchises such as Final Fantasy and made it difficult for Xbox players to get into the series. Let's just get to it here. As of right now, we'll just have to wait and see. Final Fantasy 16 is expected to remain exclusive to PS5 for a full year. So that's what the contract is for then. So, when did this release, like? What was it, like September, October, November last year or something? When did Final Fantasy 16 release, dude? Oh, it was June, dude. It was way before that. I was way off. So, Final Fantasy 16 released on June 22nd. That means June of this summer, its contract will be up for exclusivity, meaning that it could go ahead and release on any other platform. So if you're interested in playing Final Fantasy 16, and I'm going to continue to note this, personally, I don't find it to be a true Final Fantasy game. I think it's a very well-developed game, but it's more like something like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, something like that. They took a lot of the core aspects of what traditionally makes a game Final Fantasy out of Final Fantasy 16. And they put a Final Fantasy skin on a very Devil May Cry game. So it doesn't mean it's necessarily bad, but you're not going to get a true Final Fantasy experience. Also, be prepared for watching as much as you will be playing. That game has as much cinematic as it does gameplay, so be prepared for that. But it should be coming. For other platforms, around June, end of June, early July probably of this year at some point. Okay. What's that, Davey? Nine best Battle Royale games of all time. That's not what I pulled up, dude. I'm not covering that. More than 80 Nintendo Switch games are discounted this weekend. We'll cover this really quick. They've got links for all the deals. There's a lot of Switch games going on sale. Hey, speak of Bayonetta, you know what I mean? There's Bayonetta right there. So Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle is 15 instead of 20. Mario Sonic at the Olympic Games, 46. New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe for 54. Mario Party for 55, down from 60. Zelda series, Link's Awakening, 43. Skyward Sword, 45. Breath of the Wild, 51. So lots of sales going on. They've got lots of links in here. So if you guys are in the market for some Switch deals, grab that. Okay. PlayStation sale makes PS4 and PS5 hits 90% off as well. So I'll just cover this real quick. You can see they've got like games like Remothered Tormented Fathers for $3 PS4 edition there, right? Battlefield 5 Definitive Edition for $5 PS4. One Piece World Seeker Deluxe Edition for $9. Warhammer Chaos Bane Magnus Edition for $3. Kona for $1.50. Lost Worlds Beyond the Page for $1.50. Lost in Random for $3. There you go. XCOM 2 Collection for $10. Nice. Devious Dungeon for 80 cents. WRC 8 Fiat World Rally Championship for $5. And there will be many, many more. There will be links in here. You guys take a look. See if there's anything worth grabbing if you're a PlayStation gamer there, okay? What are we talking about, Davey? All right. Oh, for real? Except power. Yeah. I've heard good things about Avatar, actually. Soup played Avatar. Elden Ring. I loved Elden Ring besides its PC performance issues. You know, the content was great. And I think that the performance has improved drastically since it released. Haven't played Sekiro, but I would love to. You know. I feel you, dude. I feel you. I've got so many games I need to play, you know. So many, buddy. I know it. Here we go. Last 3 articles for the morning. Exclusive details on Mountaintop's new competitive shooter, Spectre. A new competitive shooter is in development by former Riot, Blizzard, Naughty Dog, Epic, Respawn, Ubisoft, and Raven developers, currently named Spectre, and the developers hope it could be the next big thing in the competitive market. The game is developed in a new studio by a new studio called Mountaintop Studios, which was founded in 2020 by Nate Mitchell, a co-founder of Oculus. Earlier this year, Mountaintop Studios teased its game online and said it's developing a game with 10,000 hours of depth, which is inspired by anime, manga, and comics. In 2021, the studio raised $30 million in a round of funding for its player versus player games. Insider Gaming has learned that Spectre is a 3v3 competitive shooter, but with a difference. Mountaintop calls this new feature Duality, which allows the player to control 2 bodies in the game. The second body is called a Spectre, with the player able to throw down a spawn marker where you'll take control of it when needed. After the initial swap into Spectre, the player then takes control between characters where they left off. The end result creates a high skill gap game where players need to learn the maps and angles of 2 characters rather than 1, which creates never-ending moments. Spectre is currently undergoing its 3rd alpha playtest, with Insider Gaming understanding that the feedback of the game has been overwhelmingly positive. Despite the gameplay loop being pretty identical to other round-based competitive shooters like CSGO and Valorant, the duality mechanic sets it apart in an interesting way. Details on Mountaintop's ambitions for the game going into esports are currently unclear, but from the gameplay we've seen, we're pretty confident it's going to establish in the scene. The game features 8 individual characters with unique abilities, so if you're a fan of Valorant, I think you'll enjoy Spectre. I was getting to say, it sounds a lot like Valorant. Playtests for the game are currently on the PC, and it's unclear if the game will be coming to consoles. Let's see if we can find a video of this. Spectre game, huh? Is it on? I doubt it's on Steam right now, but we'll see. Nope, that's not it. Okay, hold on. I don't think this is it either. This will probably be it. This is their official. Let's take a look at this.
Hey everyone, I'm Lee Horn, Game Director at Mountaintop Studios, and we're unveiling a sneak peek for our very first title, a new genre-evolving competitive tactical shooter. If you're tired of sitting out for an eternity after getting opt 4 seconds into the round and it drives you crazy, and you hate it when your buddy doesn't watch your cross, then we have some exciting genre evolutions that are gonna blow your mind. We've assembled a veteran team of shooter experts from all of your favorite PvP titles, including Counter-Strike, Apex Legends, Halo, Overwatch, Battlefield, and Valorant. Our goal at Mountaintop is to create games where you can easily spend 10,000 hours playing and still feel like there's more to master. More importantly, we know these experiences are best had with friends, so we have put significant emphasis on creating regular community competition as part of our meta system core. We've had a dedicated community already giving us amazing and regular feedback on the game. We highly value legacy, and we want our players to be able to leave a lasting mark on our world. If our project is up your alley and you want to help shape the future of your next obsession, then join our community and playtest group. Our first major playtest is happening on August 25th and 26th, and you can sign up now at mountaintop.gg/playtest. We look forward to playing with you all soon, and see you in Breakwater.
So there you go. That's where you'll need to go if you want to try to get in on the playtests and stuff like that, okay? Comparison video shows huge improvement in new Starfield update. But the game still feels pretty bleak and empty. Hold on. So let's take a look, see what's going on here. A video showcasing Starfield's graphics in a new beta shows several improvements compared to the game's current state at version 1.8.88. I mean, this wasn't anything anybody was like knocking on the game for, though, right? Like the visual fidelity of the game. I don't think most people were like, it doesn't look good. Most people were like, dude, this game's empty. This feels like grossly, bleak. Starfield's latest beta update 1.9.47 includes significant improvements to the game's lighting effects as showcased in a video. The update addresses criticisms of their graphics, of Starfield's graphics, and aims to enhance the overall visual experience for players. Bethesda plans to continue releasing updates every 6 weeks with the goal of continually improving Starfield's graphics and addressing player feedback. Over 100 improvements for the update, which is linked right here. You can buy into that, or you can link that up and look at it. With gratitude for all player feedback, Bethesda unveiled update here. Get this popping. Bethesda unveiled update 1.9.47.0 for Starfield via the Steam beta. It focuses on quality of life improvements, quest fixes, and several more changes stretching across a few areas, including its graphics. With about 40 fixes directed towards the graphics, Reddit user Terabit demonstrated a comparison of Starfield in its current version left to the 1.9.47.0 beta right. The video showcases tremendous results, with the right side exhibiting improved lighting compared to 1.8.88 version of Starfield. Video only shows the player character interacting with Francesca Frankie Moore, an NPC in Starfield who resides on planet Neon. However, the video shows just how much has changed since December. One of the issues that users pointed to in the comments was the spotlight lighting effect in Starfield. In essence, the spotlight effect is lighting that brightly shines over a character, illuminating specific areas like their head and shoulders. The video shows the changes in the effect to a point where it's non-existent in version 1.9.47. Other comments lauded the graphical updates, though some users shared their complaints about the game's filter. It's that dang muddy brown desaturation filter Neon has. It just makes the whole planet feel washed out and murky, and not the good kind of murky, wrote one user. Yeah, the video above shows only a fraction of the changes available for Starfield with the 1.9.47 update in the Steam beta. Yeah, they're saying they're going to update every 6 weeks, and we'll see what this does for the game. If you guys haven't seen, like, the recent reviews of Starfield, it's pretty abysmal, dude. They're pretty bad. Starfield, more like Starfeld, am I right? Just kidding, but not. So the more recent reviews for the game have of the past 30 days. There are almost 7,000 reviews at 30% positive. That's a 3 out of 10. That is a 3 out of 10. And it has brought their all-time score of reviews for the game down to of over 92,000 at this point to a 6.2 out of 10. That's not very good. Now, what's funny about this, and we've talked about this before, is that if you look at the Metacritic for Starfield, there's something wrong here. So, if you look at the Metacritic for Starfield, this game got an 83 on release, which is really, really respectable. I mean, that's a pretty substantial score. And I don't know how a game like this gets this kind of score other than the critics being reluctant to say something bad about a product coming out of a big corporation like Bethesda being under ZeniMax and Microsoft. You know what I mean? Because apparently the consensus is not that this is not an 80s rated overall game, you know, and of 90 critic reviews, it was baselined at an 83 out of 100. I mean, of all the reviews we're seeing, consensus of people that have played this game, it's, you know, more like a low 70s probably at best. So this is one of the reasons you got to be careful with critic reviews sometimes. Last but not least, oh my god, here it is. This flipping game. Look, I have serious reservations about what people should be expecting out of this game, and I've noted them over and over and over and over. I've been noting them ever since we've been covering the development process of this game. It's unfortunate, I think, that we're having to deal with this type of release out of a developer like Rocksteady that so many people fell in love with because of the Batman Arkham games, you know? And, but ultimately, and the game hasn't released yet, so I don't know in full, but the game didn't ever strike me as something that was going to be mind-blowing or significantly good. It was going to be probably mediocre at best. And one of the big issues I think that people are going to have an issue with here, and us as consumers and video gaming enthusiasts in specifically, you're talking about a $70 game for the base game, $100 for the deluxe edition if you want to be a 3-day early access final beta tester, and then you're also talking about a game as a service that is riddled with monetization. So you're paying full AAA price tag, if not over that, for this game in the first place, And then you're going to be dealing with battle pass and cosmetics and, you know, I mean, anything that they can try and rake you into, you know, like pull you into spending money on and opening your wallet for, they're going to do it, which ultimately feels pretty gross. And so, you know, I think that these types of games we've seen time and time again, they can be done well, but they can also be done pretty scummy and pretty poorly, you know, and there's been delays here, which delays are an acceptable and should be an accepted thing to happen in the development process of a game, but they can be concerning sometimes too. And ultimately, I think that, you know, one of my concerns here was that there was just too much of an aim towards monetizing this game and making it a game as a service, as opposed to focusing on what the content was going to offer for long-term sustainment of community engagement for what a game as a service is supposed to be. And a lot of what we've heard early about this game is that it shows. It's fairly boring and it gets really repetitive, and you know, it's the grind just doesn't really feel all that good for what this type of game is supposed to be. And if you know, with all those kinds of things there noted, it's not going to be a thing that's going to keep people's attention for a very long time, more than likely. The cutscenes are apparently pretty good, but that's not what's going to keep people playing a game like this. So let's see what Forbes is talking about here. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, steps on another avoidable rake. Kill the Justice League has struggled with its marketing campaign from the start, and that's continued on Friday with streams featuring big content creators like Lupo, Shroud, and Tarek. Things could have gone better. The idea was that these talented shooters players were meant to demonstrate the end game of Suicide Squad. However, as a sponsored stream, there was apparently little time for them to actually prep before this, and the players, through no fault of their own, often struggled with basic systems, like Shroud not knowing you could overcharge a jetpack to move faster, meaning he was crawling the entire time. At another point, Poison Ivy disappeared from the cutscene she was in, a lovely bug showcased to thousands of people who were given the gameplay pretty mixed reviews in chat. There remain consistent complaints about how cluttered and chaotic the UI is, which has been a frequent point brought up from the start. For what it's worth, there was at least some interesting information revealed about the in-game itself, including Elseworlds missions in alternate dimensions, in-game armor sets for build synergies, and an infinite Paragon system. But it feels like the preparation for a stream like this was simply not there. These players should have been given way more time to familiarize themselves with the core systems of the game, though by the end, it felt like they had gotten more of the hang of it. It is... excuse me. It is absolutely bizarre that the one positive bit of marketing in the really entire past year has been freeing NDA'd alpha players to talk about the game, which is a far better preview than when they flew out gaming journalists and YouTubers to do a technically mangled preview for just a couple hours. Now, they tried to do a traditional sponsored stream with big names that attracted more negativity than anything. The sense I'm getting from Suicide Squad at this point is that it feels like a game that may actually be quite fun when you get your hands on it, and its base campaign may be enjoyable, but marketing is marketing for a reason. And there's every reason to expect poor marketing as a gateway to subpar initial sales and reception. Then on top of that, this is a live service, so you can't just be pretty good. You have to be actively great to keep people playing. So far, I'm getting very, very strong Avengers vibes from all this, a game that could actually be very fun in parts, but suffered from lackluster marketing and ultimately collapsed as a live service considered a failure. As a hardcore looter person, I am desperately hoping the Suicide Squad is great, needs to be roughly 100 times better than its marketing campaign has been. That much is clear. I don't think most people are going to be overly enthused or even satisfied with what this game is bringing to the table. I really don't. I think that most people are just going to get bored with it. It feels like a push for money is what it feels like. It doesn't feel like something they're doing to bring engaging, gameplay to the table for their fans and consumers. It just doesn't. Just doesn't feel like it, man. That's the news, my dudes. We're gonna go play Power World for the rest of the day. I got a little bit of a thing going on early this afternoon, so it won't be a long day. But we'll get probably about 4 hours in, something like that. Probably about 4 hours of Power World. Unfortunately, I would love to go much longer. I'm addicted to this right now. Which is why I played a little bit last night, and I'll show everybody what I did as soon as we hop in there. But before we can go play, let's segue our way out of this news segment. You guys rock. Thanks for being a part of it this morning, and as always, being a part of all of our video gaming news segments, and just being an amazing part of our community, man. This community rocks, and it's because of all the amazing people that are part of it, so thank every single one of you that contribute in any form or fashion. If you lurk, if you're just, an active, engaging participant of what we do when we're live in any capacity, a special shout out, dude, to all of the mods that do work around here, and the people that play games with me that are part of the community. So everybody plays a part. It means everything that anybody does here means something to me, man, and I truly appreciate it, But if anybody is hanging out that's not familiar with what we do here, this is the way we start off all of our streams, 6 days a week. We don't stream on Wednesdays. That's my day off to take care of life stuff. But 6 days a week, we start at roughly 6 a.m. CST CDT. We always begin with video gaming news. We try to stay current and informed on what's going on in the video gaming industry. Then we move on and play games for the rest of the day, So as we're about to do right now, I do my very best to make sure that the majority of our content that we've done previously is put into playlists for people to access, whether it be the video gaming news segments, playthroughs we've done, funny clips and highlights, you name it, on the Twitch channel as well as our YouTube channel. So if you're interested in going and checking out any of the previous stuff we've done, that content is out there to be accessed. And if you're enjoying the content, come be a part of what we do when we're live. We've got an amazing community of people. We're all about taking care of one another, lifting each other up, being welcoming, inclusive, caring community, spreading good vibes, having a good time, enjoying video games, being void of negativity and toxicity, those kinds of things. And if you can dig that, we'd love to have you. So other than that, man, stay healthy, stay safe, be kind. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's having a great weekend, and we will be back at it again tomorrow with more video gaming news for January 22nd. All right, I'm not going anywhere. The stream's not going down. I'm going to run us an outro to finish up this news segment, and as soon as it's over, we're going to start getting ready to play some more Power World. Be right back.